Hi there, this is Clifford Bates, and this is a kind of a second introductory video introducing the series I'm just now about to start, Reading Thucydides Peloponnesian War. We're going to be using uh, the landmark Thucydides by Robert Strassler, but for the purposes of on the screen, I'm going to be using the Google Books edition, which is I don't actually it kind of sucky a little bit because unlike this, which has the margin notes, which are fantastic, and maps all through it, like every time you get a section, you get you get these a lot of you get these wonderful maps and things, and everyone. This is why these people like this edition so much because it's so interactive from the things that's also notes and commentaries and stuff at the end about different aspects of the way the Greeks do war, and it's a wonderful addition. Translation is not it's the Crawley translation from the 19th century. It's awkward in that sense. There will be translations of they'll talk about states, which there are no states at the time of this. They only have cities, polises, or they have tribal or empires or these hegemonies, the alliances, empire, like not really an empire in that term, but the alliances of the Spartan, the League of Athens, and which is a series of alliance more hegemonic, and the Peloponnesian League of all the more confederate, more of a kind of a confederation or equal standing. Um, they there are other editions that translations are better. The the recent Oxford edition, Oxford Classical Edition, the translation there is decent. So isn't the edition you can find at that was published by the Cambridge History of Political Thought edition. There Thucydides in blue cover. That translation was relatively decent in that sense. But this is okay. Again, this is much better for its purposes, the maps, the access, and things like this. And we'll be using the thing. I will make, I'll also say, oh, this word is that word, and things like that. Um, um, okay, this is not going to be long in that sense. So it's going to be a little annoying in the sense that instead of having these on the side, they'll be inside the text. That's kind of and the first couple sessions, I was kind of confused a little bit because I didn't use the online edition before, so I was kind of lost. I thought things were not chapters. I thought the chapters were going to be more were going to be different than they were. We could have used the Loeb, which is available on the Merchant's Loeb, which is available on Perseus, but it was too complicated to use Perseus. I'd crash a lot on using Screencasty. Yes, I forget what's the service I'm using here for being able to do things at once. Again, I wish you could join us on this. It's very. I hope you will join us and participate and become a member. I We start uh, uh, August. If I'm correct, which I'm never sure. I'm always correct. Let me look at the that is we have starting tomorrow. We'll have the introduction video, and on the 11th, we will have the chapters 1 through 17. Then on the 12th, 18 through 45. These are longer. This will be much longer. This will be an hour and a half. I try to make it 45 minutes or less. The August 15th video is an hour and a half, which we do the key chapters 45 through 78. Um, and then on the 16th, August 16th, we have chapter book one, chapters 88 to 89, and so forth. Um, that's the basic thrust I'm going to be trying to do. The way I'm going about this is kind of like trying to break off at a section doable. If sometimes sections have to be longer because of the integrity of the argument of what's going on. We will look at the structures of the arguments and think look at, and we're going to basically be reading it and having just a surface examination or review of it, what was said and how it was done. And it's not going to be interpretation. This is just kind of like how kind of a tutorial on reading it, and you can say, well, what's good is that? Well, isn't it be good? You can read along with it in that sense and go read the sets. You'll hear me mispronounce the Greek names. I've never been able to pronounce the Greek words, even though I'm half Greek, and ancient Greek was always a thing. My stutter is really bad in that sense. And, I still mispronounce a lot of things in that sense. So this is a little embarrassing, right? Someone who's an educator, who's advanced, well, I actually can read Greek and do the Greek very well. I just don't pronounce it at all. I can't pronounce French or German, or even try to speak Polish. It's hilarious in that sense. So it's a verbal impediment more than anything else. Um, I try. I think by the end of this, the more I say these names, the more I figure out how to put the pronunciation to remember, use them all the time. Um, Again, I spend more time with Aristotle than I do with Thucydides, so this will be kind of fun to do in that sense. I taught Thucydides Peloponnesian War, but in Western, I taught Western Civ classes in the U.S. We would spend like 3-4 sessions on the Peloponnesian War and just do it in large, and we'll focus mostly on the Melian dialogue. I did a course on war one time, and we just used a short expert from the Peloponnesian history. I did a kind of ancient, the Greek world and Roman world course, and again excerpts, not because you could spend maybe 2 classes, 3 classes on Thucydides. What I'm doing here is I'm doing very decadent. I'm going to be spending all the time. We're looking at it. This would be like a typical kind of University of Dallas great books kind of approach. St. John's, any great bookstore that offer a course on the old University of Chicago approach too. We're going to be spending our time as many sessions probably. Like I said, for my reading groups, as we know, so far, if you went already sat through we've done 3 readings so far. We've done. I started with Machiavelli's Prince. We read chapter by chapter. Sun Tzu's Art of War, chapter by chapter. Then we did the Plato's Apology, which we kind of broke up by we broke up the first speech into like 4, maybe 5, 4, I think 4 sections of it, 4 things we did, and then the second and third speech on their own for a separate thing. Um, this is going to be more difficult to do with the cities in that sense. So again, I think 8 minutes, 10 minutes is enough to talk about this. I hope you can do it. I hope you like this and pass it on to a friend. Mention it to other people that this is going to be happening. Subscribe to this. If you want to help me do this and do similar things like this, you can. You can follow me on the media and social media stuff here below. But also, you can, if you want to help me financially, you have to do these things. Subscribe. I finally got my subscribe scar. We did this like years ago when during the beginning of the whole thing, someone said, "Why don't you do this?" And I said, "I did it. We thought about it." Um, uh, um, um, Someone said, "Yeah, don't do Patreon. To go to subscribe scar, blah blah blah, and all this stuff." I said, okay, did it, but then they kind of put me on hold. Only after I did Twitter, finally joined the Twitter crowd. I've been holding off against Twitter for decades, And especially as it went, after 2008, 17, 18, as they started purging people, I said, well, I'm going to go there. But lately I went on there because friends invited me on. I was thinking, I mean, I had to respond to some people, I had to reach out to some people. The only way you could reach them was through Twitter. That was annoying. Um, so this is what this course is, and what I'm going to try to do here. This is kind of my attempt at doing a kind of a great books program for everyday people to access by the line. So that's why, if you want to help, you can participate and subscribe. So I'm not going to beg it for it, but it's there in this video again. So please pass it around. Welcome again, and see you starting tomorrow in the Thucydides. Bye bye.